All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a highly concentrated, honestly, kind of mind-blowing piece of text about the creation of public identity. I mean, it sounds like the premise of a psychological sci-fi thriller, right? But we're going to look at the literal, real-world dissection of how massive public personas are completely engineered behind closed doors, way before they ever step into the spotlight. Let's get right into our topic, the architect of the public persona, and decoding the manufactured identity. I want you to just listen to this exact quote from our source material. Meeting your future self before the nation meets you. Just let that sit for a second. It's literally just one sentence, but it holds this entire universe of psychological weight and hidden strategy. It really sets the stage for a super fascinating look into the actual machinery of fame. So let's break down the very first concept presented in our text in part 1, the persona architect, engineering and identity. What's really interesting here is the specific choice of the word architect. It completely implies that a massive public identity is absolutely never an accident. It's not a stroke of luck or being in the right place at the right time. No, it is a meticulously engineered blueprint, drafted with extreme precision and intent. It's treating a human persona not as a given trait, but as this incredibly complex system that has to be deliberately built from the ground up. Because, we usually like to think of personalities as, organic, right? Like things that just grow and evolve naturally over time. But our source material completely flips that script. It tells us that before a public figure even exists in the public eye, their persona isn't a natural evolution at all. It is a calculated, deliberate design, literally constructed from scratch to serve a very specific purpose. Which brings us to the next crucial phase in part 2, meeting your future self. The psychological turning point. Think about the stark contrast between these two states of being. On one hand, you have the raw, private, totally unscripted present self, just a normal person sitting quietly in their living room. And on the other, you have this manufactured, polished, fully architected future self. Imagine how incredibly surreal that experience would be. Literally being handed a fully formed, polished blueprint of who you are absolutely required to become tomorrow. It's just a fascinating, almost jarring duality. The source really implies this profound, almost confrontational moment where the individual literally has to face and accept this engineered version of themselves. You aren't just skimming a PR strategy document here. You are internalizing a blueprint for a human being. You have to consciously adopt a totally manufactured persona and basically wear it as your own skin. It is a massive psychological leap to leave your messy, unscripted self behind and fully step into the design. And finally, that brings us to the highest stakes of our text in part 3, confronting the nation, the final debir. So the really crucial point here is how perfectly this maps out the hidden step-by-step chronology of fame. Step 1 is the unseen architecture, that designing phase where the blueprint is meticulously drafted. Then, step 2 is that bizarre, highly private meeting we just talked about, where the individual actually embraces their future self. And only then, at step 3, does the curtain finally rise for the rest of the world to see the finished product. Notice the text's incredibly specific use of the word nation here. That instantly elevates the stakes, right? It shifts our focus from this quiet, private psychological meeting to a grand, highly anticipated public broadcast. You're not just walking into a room full of people at this point. You are broadcasting to an entire society. The sheer pressure and the massive scale implied by that single word are just absolutely immense. To wrap up our explainer today, I really want to leave you with this haunting question directly derived from the text. If this persona is completely engineered, right, down to the ground studs, and the individual actually had to sit down and literally meet it in private before we ever saw them, well, when the nation finally meets them, who are they actually meeting? Who are we really looking at? Keep that in the back of your mind the absolute next time you see a massive public figure step effortlessly into the spotlight.